What is mountaintop removal in MTVF? Well, it's a method of collecting coal, which is a valuable resource because it can be burned to produce energy. However, there are impurities within coal that can produce environmental issues. MTVF stands for mountaintop mining with valley fill operations. And the first step in this is to remove the forest and topsoil and then use explosives and heavy machinery to remove the material covering the coal. This material is called overburden and it is waste, so it's deposited in nearby valleys to create valley fills that cover headwater streams, which is environmentally damaging. So therefore, the government has enacted certain laws that require surface mines to be regulated and reclaimed and requires there to be minimal impact on waterway ecosystems from mining.
The largest impact of MTVF on aquatic ecosystems is the local destruction of stream segments. These are buried beneath valley fills, mined through, or converted to waste treatment systems in the form of ponds at the base of fills. These changes from MTVF leads to a net loss of stream habitat, which affects the ecosystem as a whole. Hydrological changes due to MTVF affect vertebrates and invertebrates. Invertebrate diversity is particularly high in headwater streams, but mining runoff caused this to decrease. These river networks floated downstream, and evidence suggests that the mining activities negatively affect the quality and lead to dramatic alterations in microinvertebrate community structure. Mine sites and valley fill operations have increased both conductivity and sulfates. These elevated concentrations leads to biological impairment. The ionic stress associated with high conductivity can be directly toxic to aquatic organisms by disrupting osmoregulation.
There are many effects of mountaintop removal in MTVF both locally and regionally. Locally, MTVFs destroy segments of stream that are mined through, converted to waste treatment systems, or buried beneath valley fills. An example of a local effect of MTVF is lost soils, as there is permanent loss and homogenization of forest soils due to surface mining. A large portion of soil is lost due to erosion, burial within overburden, and oxidation by soil microbes. The soil that is left homogenized so that organic and mineral soils mix, which significantly alters the soil horizons that had been previously naturally developed. Soil macro and micronutrients are lost as well. Changes in topography are also a result. There are also far-reaching impacts of mountaintop removal in MTVF. Individual mines affect water stream quality, community structure, and ecosystem functions. Multiple mines, however, have a larger effect due to the increased loading of dissolved substances which come from alkaline mine drainage. MTVF leads to regional sulfur aerosol emissions, which causes freshwater systems to have an increase in sulfate concentrations. This can be specifically seen in West Virginia as well as throughout North America and Europe. This increase in sulfate concentrations in the water system has a large impact on the aquatic organisms and ecosystem functions of the streams.
This important diagram from the article displays the biological benefits headwater streams have on aquatic systems, and as you can see, the factors on the left contribute to the prosperity of downstream populations, and the factors on the right benefit species that live in the headwaters and the seasonal migrants from other downstream systems. It's imperative to include this diagram because it shows how devastating it would be for local ecosystems if it were to be destroyed by MTVF.
As explained earlier, MTVF is detrimental to the environment and its ecosystems. In an attempt to reduce these effects, CWA 404 guidelines state that mining companies must make every effort to reduce the impact they have on the ecosystems, especially the waterways. When mining is inevitably going to harm the environment, companies must repair or replace the damage they have caused to an equal or greater extent. For this reason, the ecological value of the land that they mine must be assessed before any work is done. The Surface Mining Control and Reclamation Act says that watersheds impacted by surface mines be returned to a semblance of their former shape at the conclusion of mining activities. Unfortunately, mining companies are allowed to replace streams under a very loose set of rules where the streams are not required to hold any water, support any wildlife, or have any functional ecosystem capabilities. These remediation rules have been challenged in court, but with no success. In this graphic, you can see how workers mine away at a mountain to get the coal, and in the process, they fill valleys with anything that they don't need from the mountain. This shows why remediation and mitigation are so important in MTVF. These workers covered up a stream that needs to be restored or replaced for the sake of the environment and all of its inhabitants.
Throughout our group research, a lot of information about mountaintop removal and mountain mining with valley fill operations were collected. It is concluded from all this information that the impact of MTVF are very harsh on the environment, which include headwater streams, river miles, and increased pollution in the region. All these severe impacts cause a reduction of the quality of water in streams and rivers below mine sites. All the research shows that conductivity is a heavy measure of the impact of the elevated concentration of chemicals below mine sites that lead to biological damage in the water. With all that damage, there is still a lot of ways to improve the current deficiencies. Stricter rules from remediation efforts, agencies that are unsuccessful to consider the effects of forcing multiple mining permits in the same basin should consider mining outside the permit locations that have less negative impacts. And if the NPDES, which is the National Pollution Discharge Elimination System, were controlling the issue, it would help more with the violation in the region and cause much less harm to the environment.